chance that it's going to rain here in the next minute? You can open the window if you want, Mike. Take a look at, and we can, yeah. I mean, it is cloudy again, but no kidding. But what's the chance it's going to rain in the next minute? 0. Okay. So we'll say our forecast is 0. Now we'll wait a minute, and nothing's going to happen, right? So it'll be the observed is 0. It didn't rain. So if we take 0 minus 0, which is 0, and then square 0, it's still 0. So in this case, what is a good score? 0. Okay. So low score
is what this will sense. So depending on how much comes from the air, it will report the visibility.
How often do they have to clean those little ledges or whatever they are?
Oh, on the roof. The Davis is a smaller version of the same thing. Surrounded by a windscreen to make it because generally it's west, over that way. So the prevailing winds will tend to come up the valley.
Okay, watch there, see?
Hey! Really bad.
The level is adding moisture in that level, and the next cloud that forms will have an easier time to go up. And so by later this afternoon, with the help of a little jet stream disturbance, that will enhance our forecast. We could get
What are you going to do with these photos, huh?
Yeah, it looks like lightning made a direct hit on this tree, and the electricity traveled along one of the roots here and blew a hole in the ground at least this far, so anybody standing here probably would have bought the proverbial.
I want to start with two of the key kind of NASA resources. This is a little red brochure. It looks kind of boring, but it's really your window into NASA. Inside there are some key websites that I think you and your students and parents of your students will be able to utilize very nicely.
The basic idea of chaos, if you make a small perturbation here, it can get bigger and bigger downstream. Be magnified downstream very easily. So when you get something slightly off on day 1 or 2, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Once you get to day 7, 8, or 9, it may cause a low pressure system to be 3,000 miles away from where the model actually says it's going to be. And so that obviously plays a huge role in modeling, and that's one of the big problems with long-range forecasting.
That there would be 0 precip. So I have bet my life, amazingly, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I have bet my life that between now and 4 p.m. there's at least 1 drop of rain.
Yesterday, or Tuesday I should say, quite a few of you actually fell on the right side of the model. So there was some improvement, and that improvement, just to give you a sneak preview of what is to come, continued into Wednesday, as everybody beat the model on Wednesday.
Experts in various parts of what we call societal impact groups that you have been involved in.
But when you get into a storm event, and you have a storm event like a snowstorm, that throw the records out the window. And if I could analogize it to teaching, it's like your plans book. I talked about the Thanksgiving plans being pretty regular, and when you have a plans book for a normal week and you have a storm hit that week, you have to be out ahead of it.
So we continue, as time passes, we continue to prepare for that pending storm, the big storm that they can see on the radar coming our way. We do that in preparation of equipment. Something as simple as a cutting edge for a plow. Okay, once you run out of cutting edges, you don't plow anymore.
I know that you're teachers, and the thing that we always wait for in the radio business is the call from the schools saying, okay folks, the schools are canceled, so that way once the schools cancel, everyone else tends to follow the lead time of the year to say, okay, if there's a storm event, who should we call, what phone number should we call, and what is the password that we use? Because we have a password system, because one of your students might call up and say, yeah, Williamsport schools are closed today.
It's been tried. It's been tried.
It's been tried, but our focus is schools, daycare centers, large employers.
As far as getting ready, I talked to our people on what we call the other side of the airport who do the snow removal, and they have 40 miles of runway and taxiway and parking areas to clean. And they subscribe to a professional forecasting service. They get a forecast every 30 minutes. But what the leader does is tell all the people, be awake tonight. When you start to see snow falling, come to the airport.
We start our very intensive recurrent training for all the employees around September. Everyone gets trained to de-ice the aircraft. We have to spray the planes with 180-degree fluid initially to clean off every bit of ice and snow. And then we have an anti-icing fluid that we apply afterwards, which is more. It's almost like a honey. It sticks to the wings, and then as the snow falls on it, it melts. It keeps the plane from refreezing.
The atmosphere is a chaotic system. This has been called the butterfly effect. Have you ever heard that one? The butterfly flaps its wings in Bolivia, and it rains tomorrow because of that in China. That may be an overstatement, but what it means fundamentally is that the atmosphere is not a linear place. In a linear place, you push on something this hard and you get an answer that's the